Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Traitors series finale. And when I tell you this might be one of the best moments in British television history, I am not kidding. This was genuinely such a thrill ride from start to end. There were so many twists and turns. There were so many moments where I was like, oh my god, maybe it's going to go this way. Maybe it's going to go this way. Oh my goodness, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. And I think that is why this is such a spectacular show. It keeps you guessing right until the last minute. Will this person vote for this person? Will a traitor win? It's never been done before on the UK version of the show, but there's always a first for everything. So, without much further ado, let's get into the video. So, everybody was at the final breakfast, and I'm just going to run down how I feel about each of the remaining contestants. I want to preface this by I love all of them. I think they are all incredible people. I don't think there's actually anybody on this series that I disliked. I thought they were all very likable. Paul, obviously, I disliked him at times because he was really playing a villain and it was really emanating that, but like I think he's a great person. He played such a blinding game. But as for the remaining five, Andrew came in first, and I gotta say I've got big love for Andrew. Andrew is someone that I started off not being a huge fan of. I didn't really gel with him, but when he became a traitor, we started to see more of him. We started to see more confessionals from him, and we just got to know him a lot better than we did before. He also said that he wanted to set up a business around mental health because it's something that he struggled with for a long time, and I just think that's such a fabulous, amazing thing to want to do in life. Secondly, Harry, absolutely fantastic player. He has played an absolute blinder from beginning to end. Only one person this whole game suspected him from the start, or not from the start, but from about halfway through. Everybody else has trusted him 100%, and that is absolutely crazy. I still can't believe he voted every single traitor out. Like, every single traitor out. That's absolutely crazy. And I just think he's played such a brilliant game, and he definitely deserves to be in this finale. Up next was Molly. She was one of the people I did not expect to make it to the final. And I think this sounds really sad, but I think the only reason she's made it this far is because of her blind faith in Harry and the fact that Harry knows he can use that to his advantage. It sucks, but I do feel like I've really gotten to know Molly, and I do think that she's a very valuable asset to the group. She's so sweet, she's so lovely, and she's doing everything she can to raise awareness for sort of disability, proving you can do it, same as Johnny was doing earlier in the series. And honestly, she's quite inspirational. She's quite good, and she's just been a very lovely person to get to know over the course of the series. Next up was Jazatha Christie, and he should have died so long ago. This is what I mean by it's so easy to watch the show and say who they should have killed and who they shouldn't have killed. But when you're playing the game, it's so easy to miss all these clues and these little things, because Jazz has been very smart in the fact that he has kept everything close to his chest. He has kept it so tight to his chest, dropping little seeds with people to see what flourishes, what grows. And his Harry card did not flourish or grow, but he knows he can use that to his advantage in the future when he can confront Harry. Harry should have sent him packing ages and ages ago, but Harry didn't know. Harry thought Jazz trusted him. Little did he know Jazatha Christie was on the case. I still can't believe that. I still can't believe that Jazz made it to the final, because I genuinely thought he was dead long time ago. A long time ago. I thought he was going to die after Paul died, if I'm being 100% honest. And finally, we have Evie. Evie is another faithful I did not think was going to make it to the final, but I've got a lot of love and a lot of time for her. She is genuinely the kindest soul I've ever seen on a reality show. Genuinely, not a single bad bone in her body. The way she articulates herself at that round table is phenomenal. The way that she speaks to people, the way that she says everything is laced with nothing but kindness, and she makes sure that everyone really understands, okay, this thing here, okay, this isn't true. We should be looking elsewhere. I'm a faithful, not a traitor. And she's really persuasive. I actually can't remember what her job is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something that requires persuading people, because my God, this woman had me convinced that Jasmine was a traitor in the previous one, even though no, she's not. She was convincing me. I was like, yeah, Evie, all of your points are adding up. Yeah. Maybe it is Jasmine. So yeah, I really did appreciate having Evie in this final. Hey, you, I know you're not subscribed. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying. I'm trying to get to 500, trying to get to 1,000 really, but I want to try and get there with the support of you guys. You guys are doing bits on my videos at the moment. My watch time is crazy, but there's a significant disproportion. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that word. Of people who are not subscribed watching my video to people who are subscribed watching my videos. To my subscribers, I love you. You're amazing. I love the support in the comment section. But you guys have got to do bits for me as well. You've got to make sure you're subscribing. Getting that subscriber count up and up and up and up. So, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Thanks, guys. So, before the mission started, a few little interesting things that I noticed. Andrew is very, very worried that Harry is going to turn on him. I don't think Harry will turn on him. And I think this is going to be Andrew's downfall. Yeah, tough, if I'm being honest. Because Andrew is so sort of, oh, Harry's going to turn on me. But also, we're also seeing confessionals of Harry being like, no, I actually really rate this man. I really like him. I wouldn't stab him in the back because, like, it's easier to, I don't mind sharing the money with him. Because, like, yeah, would I like X amount of money? Yes. But I'll take X amount of money if I split it with him. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather win something than nothing. And if I have to win with him, that's fine. Whereas Andrew, I think, is now getting in his head and is thinking, is this guy actually on my side? Or is he going to come and stab me in the back at some point? That's what you really got to question. Evie was getting upset and a little bit frustrated with the fact that she believes that everyone is suspicious of her and believes that she's the traitor. But interestingly, Jazz is planning on actually blindsiding Harry with his question about the whole Paul situation, when Paul was like, oh, hi, you said this to Harry and Harry said this to me, and Jazz was like, that's a bit strange, isn't it? I think it's a shame that Paul kind of misspoke there, because if Paul hadn't have misspoke there, Harry would have had a clean sheet. Genuinely would have got away with murder. And it's a shame that that happened. But I'm also impressed that Jazz has kept that in his back pocket until the final, because that's when he can really do some damage with it. If he was to bring it up at a round table before, people would probably be like, hang on a minute, what are you talking about? Whereas at the final round table, it's good to talk about that because you can just air it out, get it out in the open. So, the final mission was here, and there was a total of 20 grand on offer. 10 grand if they managed to raise the sails on the boat, and 10 extra grand if they completed the detours along the way, which would take time out of their, obviously time to get to the ship. I thought this was an interesting challenge. Like I said, I did not watch the last 2 episodes of season 1, purely because I got pissed off that Amanda was voted out and I didn't want to watch anymore. But I heard what went down voting wise, but I didn't actually see what the missions were like. So I was really interested to see what the final mission would be like here. I gotta say, there was no urgency from any of them, and it was actually quite tough to watch, because I was sitting there and I was like, these people are just milling about, going, ooh, yeah, let's just dawdle along. You had an hour to get to the ship and an hour to get all the detours as well if you wanted, and they decided to go for all of the detours. And I gotta be honest, they were making such good time until they got to the abseiling bit, and then that was where it all just went out the window and it was a bit tough to watch. It was really cool. They kind of flew in on a chopper. They got down, they got their kits on, they started running through, they got some lobster cages and found one of the flags for 2.5k, and then they had to, what was the second one? They had to do something else for the other 2.5k, and then the last one, they had to, like, trek through a cave, and that was the final 5k. The abseiling bit was tough to watch because obviously Andrew isn't good with heights, and at one point he just got himself stuck in a dodgy position that obviously if I was in that position, I'd be very concerned I was about to fall and kill myself. So yeah, was a little bit tough to watch, I won't lie, but on the whole, very, very good mission. They ended up getting on a little speedboat that took them to the main boat where they had to hoist the sail up. But unfortunately, Andrew and Harry, very seasick. They were heave-hoeing over the side, let's just put it that way. And I thought that was quite funny. I saw a lot of people being like, oh, just get over it, get over it. But like, seasickness is wild because like, if you've never had seasickness, you'll never understand, because when you get seasick, your world is spinning and just going and just and the only thing that you think will make you feel better is to throw up, but obviously you don't want to throw up. So it is tough having seasickness. That's why I don't like going on boats, because I went on a ferry to I was in America in 2022. I went to San Francisco, and we went to Alcatraz, and getting on that ferry going across the ocean, head down, trying not to think I was bobbing up and down on the waves, because it was tough. Like, I forgot to take travel sickness tablets as well. Or I think I had on the way there, but on the way back, it was like, because they started to wear off, I was like, oof. Anyway, it's tough, And they managed to complete the mission just. Like, when I tell you just. They had like 2 seconds to spare. I didn't think they were going to do it. But they managed to bank 20k. They managed to get their prize balance up to £95,150. And honestly, I've got to applaud them. I have to applaud them. Now, before the final round table, Molly and Harry were talking about who they trust. And Harry's sort of bringing up Andrew's name a little bit. But Molly's saying that she doubts Jazz, and Harry's starting to feel bad about lying to Molly. Oh, it's starting to get a little bit tough, because Harry was like, oh, if you were a traitor, I'd forgive you. And she went, I wouldn't. I'd never speak to you again. And in that moment, I was like, oh, Harry. Oh, no. Oh, no, you mucked this up so badly, and I actually can't believe this. This girl trusts you with her whole heart. Oh, it's tough. Elsewhere, Jazz was bringing up the pool sit, or just being like, listen to a question I'm going to bring up at the round table. Pay attention to it. Didn't really give much more away to Molly, but was just like, listen to what I say. Think about it. But obviously Molly doesn't trust Jazz at all, so bit tough there. And then Harry was trying to tell Andrew to stick it on Jazz and Evie, which I think was the smart plan here. If they could get rid of Evie and then get rid of Jazz, they've won the game. Both of them. But obviously, it remains to be seen whether Andrew will actually go along with that plan. Because I think that's a smart plan. But remains to be seen whether Andrew will go through with that or not. The round table started, and there are now only 5 people remaining. This round table is huge for the amount of people that there are now. It was a little bit wild to watch, I won't lie. Evie started by saying that she believed in the theory that Zach put out there, and she now feels like she signed her own death warrant. She was genuinely doing her best to be like, if I will stand up there and say I'm a faithful, please, can we look somewhere else? Because if you vote me out, and when I say I'm faithful, where are you looking from there? Because clearly there's still a traitor in the midst. What's going on, guys? Please. And honestly, Jazz then started to say that she was suspicious. And then Harry and Molly were like, yeah, like going down the shield route, it has to be you. And nobody really pieced together the fact that like, Evie didn't piece together the fact that if she was innocent, Ross was a traitor, and Jasmine was faithful, and those three were the only ones that didn't know Harry had a shield. Clearly one of the traitors did know Harry had a shield. That's the logic that she should have taken from the fact that Jasmine was faithful, but she didn't. And it was really upsetting to watch her not piece that together, because everyone on Twitter seemed to. Oh, I do hate going on Twitter and then being like, oh, it's so obvious. Why? They're so dumb. They're so dumb. But like, when you're in the game and you're not really, you can't really piece things together because you haven't got all the information. Whereas we've got all the information. We know that we know that Andrew was lying and that Harry was doing it as a double bluff. So clearly, we know that it's a fake theory. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's tough to watch at times. It's tough. Evie then started to point the finger at Andrew, and then Andrew used a bit of a guilt trip. I was sitting there like, Andrew, hun, you can't really say that. It's unsportsmanlike, I think, if I'm being 100% honest. I'm not going to be this person, but like, he turned around and he was like, if you want to take this money away from me and my son, you can, but like, I'm faithful. And I was like, the guilt trip's not, it's not the one, if I'm being 100% honest. You gotta come up with better reasons for why you're not faithful than don't take the money away from me and my son. That did leave a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, just because I was like, oh, you just guilt tripping people. And then Jazz brought up the fact that Harry is a little bit suspicious, and I will read out what I wrote down because it was an accurate reflection of what I was thinking in that moment. So Jazz has gone, listen, this happened with Paul, and I just put, oh no, it could all come crashing down. No, Harry said he didn't say that to Paul. Harry's now playing the defensive. Oh no, Harry underestimated Jazz. I told you. Oh my goodness. I think it was in this moment Harry realised how much of a dangerous player Jazz was, and the regret sunk in with the fact that he didn't kill off Jazz instead of Zach. The regret. Because before that point, Jazz hadn't mentioned the Paul thing to anyone. This was the first time it came up. And Harry decided to say, yeah, no, I didn't say that. I think Paul was just throwing names about. It's not the best defense, because like Jazz said, there's a history of traitors voting for traitors. A very good track record. A very, very good track record. Tough for Harry, I won't lie. So it came down to the voting, and it was pretty much unanimous. Andrew voted for Evie. Evie voted for Andrew. Jazz voted for Evie. Molly voted for Evie. And Harry voted for Evie. And I was gutted to see Evie go. She started off the series as one of the blonde women. Then around episode 4, when Ash was like having a go at her, she became Evie. And then about episode 8, what was the episode where she said, I didn't hear Diane saying that. That's when she became Mother Evie. She was incredible. And she's an absolute icon. We will miss her. And honestly, All-Stars, you better be coming back. Because I know they're going to rinse an All-Stars at one point. I still think it would be fascinating if they got to season 3 and then they just took like 3 groups of people from each of the series, whacked them in again for season 4. That would be fascinating. I'd love that. Because obviously they know the argument that now that they know how the game works, it's less interesting to watch is categorically false. It's actually better now that they know how to play the game, because you get more interesting strategies, like the shield strategy. Harry got a shield, recruited someone, but used the fact that he had a shield to make it seem like he had been murdered the night before. It's a smart strategy, I won't lie. And would that have happened in season 1? Probably not, let's be honest. After Evie's banishment, there was a ripple of conversation going around the table. Are we sure there's any traitors left? Yes, there is a traitor left, you numbnuts. What do you mean, is there a traitor left? Who killed Zach? Because Zach died after Ross was banished. So if he was the last traitor, who killed Zach? Come on, guys. Use your brains. I'm surprised. Like, unless it was cut, nobody brought up that fact. Oh, it was so frustrating to watch that. Because I was just thinking, the faithful are actually... They're actually just plotting their own demise. And it is just really, really tough to watch. It's really, really annoying. Because I want them to win. Obviously, I want the faithful to win. But when the traitors play such a good game, it's hard not to root for them. Oh, it's tough. But, unfortunately, Andrew and Harry were gunning for each other. Andrew went straight to Jazz and chucked Harry under the bus. Harry went to Molly, chucked Andrew under the bus. Just a mess. Honestly, a mess. If they'd have come together and been like, let's get Jazz out, they could have done it together. But no, they decided to backstab each other, and it was tough to watch. Andrew and Jazz were talking, and Andrew basically said that Harry's cocky and he's known everything that the traitors have done, which is a little bit suspicious. He was just throwing Harry in front of that bus and then reversing the bus and then making sure a lorry ran over him. I was like, Andrew, this is not working in the way that you think it is, because you're going into the final little decision bit and you've gone to Jazz and gone, I think it's Harry. But you've never once said it's Harry throughout. Is that not suspicious? Is that not a little bit like, what's going on here? What's happening? Because if I was Jazz, I'd be like, this guy has never said anything about Harry before. But just before we're about to go into the final circle, he is now chatting the most. What's going on here? Because I've suspected Harry, but Andrew has never suspected Harry. So what's going on here? We're in to the end game. The final decision. Banish again or head to the end game. Tough was what this was to watch. This was probably the toughest part of the episode to watch. If I'm being 100% honest, I think the smartest play here, I mean, it didn't matter because obviously it went this way anyway, but the smartest play that Harry could have done is to bring up the fact that Andrew, he never actually told Andrew that he had a shield. So Andrew was the one lying. Because obviously Molly saw him grab it in the challenge, and he went to Jazz and told Jazz, I have a shield. But obviously Andrew found out through the traitorness. So the best argument he could have had for why it was Andrew is, I never told Andrew about my shield. Therefore, it must have been Andrew and Ross, which I think would have been a very, very smart choice. However, it did not go like that. They were asked to choose Endgame or Banish again, and every single person chose Banish again, because obviously there's still a traitor, so they have to get one out. Andrew, everyone was asked to give a reason, and everyone was like, oh, I think there's still a traitor, I think there's still a traitor. Andrew just threw Harry under the bus. I think Harry's a traitor. I think he's a traitor. I think he's cocky. I think he's this. I think he's that. I think he's... And Harry was like, dude, the fuck? But also his face was going, where has this come from? What are you talking about? So like, I could see the layers behind Harry's eyes. It was very... it was just very tough to watch. And then, without any deliberation whatsoever, write a name on your boards. Excuse me? I wanna talk about this. I wanna question. I wanna grill Andrew. What's going on here? What? What do you mean you're just calling out my name? What's going on? And unfortunately for Andrew, it did not work in his favour. He voted for Harry, but the other three all voted for him. So unfortunately, Andrew was banished. He revealed he was a traitor, and he just left the room. He was gone. That's it. Game over. Now, here is my thing about Andrew's final play. He fucked up because he batted so hard for Harry. I think that made everyone vote for him. If he hadn't have said that, I think it would have been a more chaotic conclusion. Because I think Andrew would have voted for Harry, Harry would have voted for Jazz, Jazz would have probably voted for Harry, and then Molly would have voted for Andrew. So it would have just been a bit of a a bit of a mishmash of just madness, and Harry would have been voted out. And then he would have revealed he was a traitor, and then I think Andrew probably would have won the money. But Andrew making that decision to throw Harry under the bus fucked him over, ruined his game, and it was really tough to watch, because Andrew has played such a good game to get to this point, playing the sort of dumb card, playing the, oh yeah, just improvising on the fly kind of thing. He's done really well with that strategy, but this moment really, really screwed him over, and it was disheartening to watch, I have to say. So there was just Jazz, Harry and Molly left, and they were asked once again, end game or banish again. Now, looking at the stats, if I was in the game, I'd be going, okay, there has to be a total of 5 traitors, because we've gotten 4 out, and we know there was at least 1 recruitment. So that means that, like, there's at least 1 more, because someone's obviously died. There's at least 1 more. But we haven't seen a second recruitment, because obviously that recruitment was hidden by Harry's death. His, like, fake death. So I don't see a reason why anyone would banish again at this point, because we've just gotten a traitor out. The only reason why you would banish again is if you genuinely thought someone else was a traitor. Molly voted for endgame. Harry voted for endgame. Jazz voted for banish again, which means they have to banish again. Do you know why this was frustrating? Let me break it down for you. Harry had won at this point, because using the numbers, they'd gotten that 1 traitor out. So they should have all been faithful. Obviously, the hidden recruitment, the faithful don't know about that. But the frustrating part is that Jazz was so dead set on the fact it being Harry, and the fact that Andrew blaming Harry was weird, that it just felt like very strange. But also, it's so tough to talk about, because Jazz was 100% right to banish again, but it backfired for him, because he was going up against Molly and Harry, who are like that it wasn't going to go his way. And it sucks, because Jazz was going to vote for Harry, Harry was going to vote for Jazz, and that meant the deciding vote was on Molly. Nobody questioned whether Molly was faithful or not. They just knew. They just knew she was faithful. And Molly believed they were both faithful as well. So it was just a case of, who the fuck do I vote for? Who would I rather win this game with? She wrote Harry on her board initially, and then changed it to Jazz. And in that moment, sealed the deal on the game. I think Molly will forever regret that decision for the rest of her life, because she essentially threw away 45 grand. 47 grand. Which is crazy. I was in shock, because as soon as I saw her write that H on the board, I gasped. I was like, no way is she voting for Harry. I thought it was a dead set certainty that she would vote for Jazz. And then, when Claudia was like, is everyone happy? Molly went, nah, actually, can I change my vote? And Claudia was like, slink back into the shadows, sure, go for it. We'll only do it when you're ready and you're happy. That one little doubt in her mind screwed her entire game, and Jazz was voted out. Faithful. The game ended. Molly said she was a faithful. Harry said he was a traitor. And you just saw the life leave Molly. She was like, no fucking way. And then she just ran off, because she was just like, what the fuck? The fuck? What? What do you mean you're a traitor? This whole time you've been gaslighting me. She's never going to trust a man again. This poor girl, she's only 21. Oh, this game could ruin your trust in people. Absolutely decimate it, because she trusted Harry 100%. She's trusted Harry 100% for ages now. Tough. It was tough to watch. It was tough to watch because Harry deserved to win. He deserved to win. He played the best game. The only mistake he made was trusting Paul with the information about Jazz. That was the only information. And really, he should have just let it happen. And so they killed Jazz, and Paul was taken out a little bit quicker. That is literally the only thing he mucked up on. It's tough. It's tough. It really is, because I really do think that I just think Harry deserved to win the game based on how he played it. Did he play it very manipulative? Yes, at times. But did he play it well? Yeah. Of course he did. He played an absolute blinder. He was incredible. And yeah, it was tough to watch that final bit with Molly, because I think she realised how much of a mug she'd been taken for throughout the game. But was it a brilliant finale? Abso-fucking-lutely. What a brilliant finale for the show. I'm probably going to do another episode. I mean, I'm going to be rinsing the Traitors for a little bit. But I'm going to do a video about why this series was so good. And I don't want to ruin some of the points, but this finale is going to be one of them. Let's be honest. The hype building up to it did not let me down. Not for 1 minute. Also, my prediction at the end of last episode, and potentially the prediction back in my prediction video was wrong, because I thought Jazz was going to go and then Zach would stay. But my predictions at the end of last episode, completely right. I called it. Evie went at the round table, then Andrew, then Jazz, leaving Molly and Harry and then Harry broke Molly's heart. Yeah, tough to watch, but thank you guys very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And I will see you guys for another Traitor video very shortly. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to be rinsing this for a while. Keep on ranting. Bye now.